Hello, friends. Today I wanted to talk about something that really weighs heavily on me. I am in retail and I want to talk about the behavior of the customers in these stores, the behavior of the children that they allow in these stores, and the parents do nothing. I don't know where this concept of the customer is always right and we cannot say a word to them and we can let them have their kids running around, opening up toy boxes, tearing them up, and just not behaving and running around in a store is acceptable. So many times in the store, I see women with zero respect for the employees, zero respect for the merchandise, and just zero respect in general. They come in, they take off a shirt off a hanger, they try it on in the middle of the store, and then they just toss it on top of either the rounder or one of the fixtures and what have you. Or they put it halfway on the hanger, it falls on the floor. They don't even bother picking it up. There's just clothes everywhere. They step on them, nothing. They come into the fitting room. Not only do they just take everything off, they throw everything on the floor, they step on it, they expect the employees to pick it up. One day, I had a gentleman come in with his son. His son was probably 16, 15, something like that. He was trying on a suit for his formal, I believe it was. They go in with two or three suits. They come out with nothing. I said, "Sir, do these have, where are the clothes?" And he said, "Oh, they're in there." I said, "Can you please bring them out on hangers?" And he said to me, "Since when is that a thing?" I'm like, "Excuse me?" I go, "It's always been a thing." He goes, "Oh my God, you're just so lazy." How does this man expect his son to be respectful? How does this man expect to teach his son how to respect merchandise, clothing, or to hang it up in his own house? Sometimes I wonder what these people's houses look like. Do they just have clothes thrown all over the place? And not only were the clothes just dumped in the fitting room, stepped on, and just a mess. A lot of times people bring out their clothes on hangers inside out. How do they even hang them up and have the decency to bring them outside on hangers and give them to me? It's just unbelievable. Another thing, they have children running around. Sometimes they'll open up a box of toys, take it out. And what do the parents say? "Oh, honey, please don't do that. If you don't do that, I will buy you an ice cream when we leave." My mind is blown. What is the point of this? What are they teaching their children? Another time, this little kid, it's insane. This little kid in a stroller must have been 3 years old, had his mom's phone, and he was just throwing it. And she would pick it up and give it back to him. "Honey, please don't throw it." Over and over again, I was looking at them saying, "Oh my God, I want to discipline this kid," but I couldn't say anything. So after a long time, store was a mess. Toy section was a mess because they had just thrown everything in everywhere. They come to the registers to pay, and this little kid, 3 years old, turns around and tells his mother, "If we're not out of here in 3 seconds, I'm going to throw your phone." And she said, "Oh, please don't. We're leaving right now and we'll go get some ice cream." What are these parents teaching their children today? Where is the discipline? Where is the respect? If I did that when I was younger or my kids did that, I would take them by the ear and drag them outside. I didn't have to do that though. I just gave them a look and they knew. Now, here's the other thing that makes me absolutely crazy is that if we were to tell the customer something, "Please don't allow your children to do that," or "Please, we're not allowed to," I would get in trouble or reprimanded by my boss if I were to say that. I would get reprimanded by my boss if I were to tell the boy that was with the suits in the fitting room that, "You know what? No, it has to be this way. I'm not lazy. That's not my job to pick up after you. My job is to put the clothes back where you found them." So why does the customer always have to be right? Why in this wonderful country of our United States do they allow this mishandling of everything? And why does the boss not take the employee side? One time I had a lady not just one time, but many times. But one time I remember specifically. I asked the lady, "Can I help you?" And she says, "Are you talking to me? I don't need anything." And I said, "Excuse me, I was just asking if you need help because you're looking at the sunglasses." She was taking the sunglasses by like this. She was holding. I said, "Please don't hold the sunglasses like that. You're getting fingerprints on them." And she said to me, "How dare you talk to me like that? I want to see your manager." I said, "Please go see my manager. And here is my name tag." And I got in trouble for this. How does that work when the other person wants to go try on those sunglasses and they have her fingerprints all over them? Why would I get in trouble for this? Why do these people not have respect for anything in a store? And I'll tell you why. Because the system and the owners of the retail stores and the merchants and everything, they allow them. They think that these people are their sole bread and butter. If they are so good to them, they will come back. These people don't care. They have more merchandise that's damaged than it's worth for these people to come back. So another thing is they have zero respect for rules. We have one room in the dressing room and the fitting rooms, I apologize, that is for wheelchair access. It's a bigger room. It has a little sign with the wheelchair on it. Doesn't say handicap because God forbid we say handicap nowadays. That's not allowed. Little room with a wheelchair blue on it. So I have women coming and tell me, "Can I get the bigger room?" I said, "No, I'm sorry. That room is reserved for wheelchair access or women with little, newborns with strollers, whatever." Or I sometimes it slips and I say it's handicapped. "Well, I'm handicapped. I have a handicap sticker on my car. Do you want me to bring it?" I said, "No, ma'am, I don't want you to bring it. But this is for wheelchair access and that's why the room is so big." She goes, "Well, my back hurts." Well, I don't understand. If your back hurts, you can go in a smaller room. The bigger room isn't going to help you. Or I had another gentleman say to me, "Handicap? Don't talk to me about handicap. I'm an attorney. You can't say handicap to an attorney because you don't know what my handicap is." I'm like, oh Lord, it is so unfortunate that we have come to this nowadays that we can't even speak up. So after that happened, they called the manager, and a couple days later, my boss took me into his office and said, "I was here the other day and a customer called and said that you were in the fitting room and um, you didn't allow them to go in the handicapped fitting room, and that's not what we're all about." I said, "Yes, I understand, but there was nothing wrong with her. When she can carry 15 items of heavy clothing around the store, I think she is okay to go into a regular room, which is by no means small. 3 people could fit in there." He said, "Well, we have that room, but if somebody asks for it, let's give it to them." I said, "Okay, somebody asks for it, let's give it to them. But what if somebody with the wheelchair comes? Or what if some woman with, 2 little kids and a stroller with a newborn comes? Where am I going to put them?" And he said, "Well, they can wait." I said, "That's not the whole point. It's, I don't understand what the point of having the handicap room for is then. And why am I getting in trouble for trying to follow the rules?" And what he told me is, "Where did you see the rules written about the handicap room?" I said, "Well, because I have absolutely plain, simple logic. When I see a wheelchair on a room, I just figure it's for wheelchairs. That's just me. What can I say? That's common sense, I would think." I said, "So those are the rules. And yet I am not allowed to speak up." I love this country. I was raised here, but the truth is, everybody has to be like sheep. I see women throwing things around, and I'll have to say, "Oh, that's okay. I'll take care of it." When I really want to say, "You know what? What the hell are you doing? What is wrong with you people that you treat things like this?" Or they just open packages of underwear and just throw them around, let their children run wild. But here's the difference. Because I am from Europe and I go to Europe often, any retail store, I don't care how big or how small, there is nothing that can compare to those retail stores in Europe. You walk into a retail store, it is immaculate. And why? because people know that when they take something off a hanger, they're going to put it back on the hanger. There is nothing on the floor. If they fall down, they're going to pick it up. They have respect from themselves, respect for the employees, respect for the merchandise. And the other thing is that they know in Europe, if some kid breaks, tears, destroys a toy, you break it, you buy it. The parents are going to pay for it. I don't see any kids running around all crazy and all tearing things and telling their mothers that, you know what, if you don't get me out of here in 3 seconds, I'm going to throw your phone. Oh my God, where did that come from? Anyway, the whole point of my rant today is just frustration with our system and frustration that why can't we be more respectful and teach, first of all, our children, and second of all, have respect when we walk into an establishment. And as I say, I always treat others as I want to be treated, or the clothes on my back like I have in my own closet, which, get crazy, but most of the time it's neat. But where has that respect gone? Where have those values gone? Understand what I'm saying? Or have you ever been in a situation like that? Drop a comment below and tell me what your experience was. Give me your thoughts. Tell me, am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? And what do you think is a way that we can fix my rant today? I appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed a little smidget of my life here with my retail. And we'll see you